Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome to DreamWorks Switch to Life, and today we are finally going to be reviewing the TV show TrollsTopia, which, if you ask me, might actually be the best thing to happen to the Trolls franchise since the original movie. Of course, I could be wrong, and maybe Band Together will actually be a great movie, and I would love to see that, but unfortunately, since it's not out right now, as of the time of recording this video, we're just going to say that TrollsTopia is the best thing to happen to the Trolls franchise. And it honestly makes sense. This series serves as both the sequel to the original TV show Trolls The Beat Goes On, which is streaming on Netflix, and it serves as a sequel to Trolls World Tour. It takes what was good about both properties, puts it together, and packages it into an amazing TV show. What's really great about this TV show is that while I did give some criticism for not applying enough screen time to learning about the other troll cultures in the movie, that's where this TV show comes in. It does absolutely everything right. It just shows you the differences between all of the other tribe cultures, and then it also shows you ways in which they come together. And even though they're all different and they're all unique in their own way, this series shows that no matter how different people can be, we can always come together in harmony. I loved this series. I loved the humor, the animation. I mean, obviously it's not as good as the movies, but still, it's good. And I also loved the way that they portrayed all of the characters. This series also includes a ton of character development for all of the characters. Branch is still learning to be a better troll. Poppy is learning to be a good queen, especially now that her kingdom has multiplied sixfold. Not to mention all of the various character development of all the minor characters of the snack pack. And this series also introduces new characters like Val Thundershock of the Hard Rock Trolls, who definitely learns what it really means to be a better troll. There's also Demo, her band assistant, which is really nice. And there's also a ton of other characters from the other trolls, like Dante Crescendo and his friend Minuet. From the Funk Tribe, we have R&B, who I really love to watch in their shenanigans, and we also have Low Note Jones, who I believe has the best voice in this entire series.
Funk.
Stay funky.
How do you make everything sound so cool?
There's also Harley Darlin, who has a really big personality. There's also Gus Tumbleweed, the country tribe sheriff. And finally, the characters from the Techno tribe, Synth and Laguna. Both of whom have really unique personalities, and I especially love how Laguna is learning to be a little less shy and more of an actual sociable person. And then there's also the rest of the supporting trolls who are just there as filler characters. And I just love all of these guys. And I especially love the voice actors that they chose to portray them. And probably the best part about this series was by bringing in new trolls from all the other tribes to represent everything else, they didn't have to hire all of the popular movie actors. They just brought the gang from Trolls The Beat Goes On, and then they also brought actors to portray brand new characters who were not in the original Trolls World Tour. And just like the original show Trolls The Beat Goes On, they chose great voices for singing, and they also have some really great music in this series. It's just really cool how good this series is. Of course, there is still the issue of short runtime with 11-minute increments, but honestly, that just makes this series shine a bit more, because rather than it being a long-form series, it just feels like friends having the occasional adventure. That's what this story is trying to tell, and that's exactly what it does. I can't find any fault with this series aside from not hiring Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake, but again, they still chose great voices to portray Poppy and Ranch. Now, as I've said already, they do this series justice by showing how different the cultures are, and we learn a lot about the various troll tribes, and that's really great. And along with the pop trolls, we're learning exactly how different the trolls are, and yet we're also just there knowing that even though they're different, they can come together in peace and harmony and have the best time possible. This series also continues the plot lines left behind by the Trolls The Beat Goes On, and that's really good. It's a continuation of some of the best episodes from that series. Not to mention, well, spoilers ahead, but there is a Bergen who just so happens to still like eating trolls, and that's really good in my opinion, because it shows not every Bergen is capable of changing instantly like that, but it's just so good. And then, of course, there's the series finale, which, unfortunately, spoilers ahead, obviously, but I believe the finale ends the series in the best way possible. Just as how Poppy tried to bring trolls from the other tribes into TrollsTopia, now she has to say goodbye to one of her friends from Pop Village as they travel to see the other kingdoms, namely the Techno tribe, which is really good in my opinion, especially because it brings about how they said goodbye to their friends when they came to TrollsTopia and how they don't regret it, but they still miss their friends. This series literally does a 180 in the finale. In the beginning, it's about bringing new trolls into TrollsTopia, but now it's saying goodbye so that the other tribes can get a piece of bringing other cultures into their lands, which is really good. As I have said before, this series is probably the best thing to happen to the Trolls franchise since the original movie came out. In fact, I might even argue that it is better. Granted, I've only seen this series once, so I can't speak for everybody. But in my opinion, this TV show is definitely better than Trolls World Tour, and it does everything that Trolls The Beat Goes On did, but better. And it's really, really good, and I love it. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video because that's it for my review of this series. However, I still really want to talk about the upcoming movie, Trolls Band Together. Some of you might be wondering, why is this movie ignoring that there are other troll tribes? The trailers make it seem like Pop Village is all there is, and that actually is the case. Because even though this series did create TrollsTopia, what you may not know is that Band Together is supposed to take place only 1 month after Trolls World Tour.
Look at you, tiny diamond, you make the cutest little flower boy.
Come on, Daddy, I'm the cutest little flower man.
But Tiny, you're only a month old.
Which means at that point, TrollsTopia hasn't been created. What that means is that TrollsTopia, despite being made as a sequel to Trolls World Tour, is also a sequel to Trolls Band Together. So you won't be missing anything if you watch TrollsTopia after Band Together, and it explains why the Band Together movie won't have a lot of representation of the other trolls, because they're all off in their own kingdoms doing their own thing. That would actually make a lot of sense, because if they were to include trolls from the other tribes in this movie, they would definitely not get a lot of screen time, and it might actually feel like they were just put there for certain reasons. But by placing TrollsTopia after this movie, that means that they can get away with just featuring Pop Village trolls. And they can also make it so that this movie doesn't feel rushed. With that knowledge in mind, I'm actually looking forward to Trolls Band Together when it releases on November 17th. Or I might actually go get an early screening on November 4th, which I guess is tomorrow, seeing as how I'm releasing this on November 3rd. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and please make sure that you like and subscribe so you can keep up to date on all things DreamWorks. And my question for you, if you have seen TrollsTopia, what was your favorite episode? And make sure that if you haven't seen TrollsTopia, please do, especially if you're a fan of the Trolls franchise. Leave a comment down below discussing what you thought, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.
I know I'm the chosen one, because my daddy tells me I'm special every day. Me and my daddy are gonna have words. Daddy!